Hello, everyone. Welcome to a panel discussion on AI integration in education. Today, we'll explore how artificial intelligence is transforming education from personalized learning and intelligent tutoring to automated grading and administrative efficiency. AI has the potential to revolutionize teaching and learning, offering numerous benefits and posing unique challenges. We'll discuss these aspects and the ethical considerations of AI in education. We're excited to hear from our esteemed panel of experts who will share their insights and vision for the future of AI in education. Adding to the excitement of today's session, we are honored to have Hamza, who specializes in educational business development and technology integration. He holds a BSc in teaching mathematics and physics from the Lebanese International University. Hamza is recognized for his effective training programs and has trained over 3,000 educators. His accolades include a Certificate of Appreciation from the Department of Mathematics at the Ministry of Education in Jeddah, a special award from the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education in Lagos, a certification of appreciation from Open Arab University in Dammam, and a ChatGPT Expert certification from the Blockchain Council. We welcome you, Hamza.
Thank you so much for this introduction. It's my pleasure to join you today for this panel and to talk more about the AI in education and how can teacher benefit from AI and how can they enhance their capability and capacities as well for the students.
Pleasure is all ours, Hamza. Also, we are joined today by the co-founder of Gravitas AI, Mr. Aarsh Srivastava. We welcome you, sir, in this panel discussion.
Thank you, Roshali, and it is very interesting topic today, and I'm really glad to co-panel with Mr. Hamza on this one. So we'll try to give as much insights as we can.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, starting with a short and exciting opening keynote, Hamza, the first question goes to you. That in what ways do you think can AI assist teachers and admission team in managing their workload and enhancing their teaching methods?
Okay. Thank you for your question. Basically, before I start answering this question, I need to talk more about the education AI direction and also some key points for frameworks for teachers, and then I can answer fully your question. So basically, in what way can AI assist teachers and admission team in managing their workload and enhancing their teacher method? First, the educational AI direction. It's centered to leverage the AI technologies to enhance human capacities and promote inclusion and equity, and to ensure that AI is used ethically and effectively in education. So, before knowing what are the benefits of AI to teachers, we need to know the direction of the educational frameworks. First one, it is enhance human capacities, then promote inclusion and equity, as well to ensure that AI is used ethically and effectively in education. How to go through this? Through the approach of human-centered approach. This is very important keyword, the human-centered approach. So whenever we need to talk about how AI can benefit the teachers, we need to go to progression phases, and there are some aspects that the teacher need to know more about it and to be educated on it. The first aspect it will be the human-centered mindset, as well to be knowledgeable about ethics of AI, as well the pedagogy and how to implement it. And the progression will go from understand, apply, and create. So we need to focus more on the human agency and then to be more aware about the human-centered design. The human agency, it's more about how human need to how human need to make their decision according to the AI output. So the AI will enhance the human decision making and not replacing them. So the main point is to understand that the tools that we are using is to enhance our outputs and to enhance our capacities rather than replacing them, because the teacher need to be there between the educational strategy or educational pathway and the implementation of the AI tool. So the teacher should be in the loop between the pedagogy and between the tool itself. By that way, we can go more into human-centered approach, which is prioritize the human needs, values, and capabilities. So, how it will, how AI tool can benefit the teacher. First, we need to, as we mentioned before, that we need to understand more the human agency and the human-centered approach. After that, it can be easier for us to use the tools efficiently with students or in the institution, which is the school, either by personalized learning or or like reducing cognitive load. What do you mean by reducing cognitive load? That we shift to higher level of thinking. It will go through the analysis and synthesis. Also, it enhances our creativity and critical thinking, and also it encourages our ethical and critical use of AI. So by these activities, we teachers can benefit from the tools that are provided to them, or they can build their own tool that is aligned with their objective and with their strategy and aligned with the school policy and guidelines. So this is like a summary of what the teacher can do with the AI tool and how it can enhance the teacher's capacities and workload.
Yeah, I think like it's very important that these keywords which Mr. Hamza said about like the inclusivity, ethical use of artificial intelligence, and that relates to the keeping the user at the heart of the solution. Because ultimately, technology is an enabler, and we have to understand that until unless we develop something which is for the user, it will not be beneficial. So, like it will be only beneficial using ethics and the right kind of inclusion of all the type of cognitive biases, because this technology is something a bit different than the traditional technologies wherein we are trying to mimic the human intelligence. So for mimicking human intelligence, we need to be very careful about that the sample set which you're using to train the algorithms or sample set which you're using to train the chatbots or assistants or any type of solutions which are into machine learning is small, and the people who will be developing it will have their own biases based on their previous experiences. That is natural, that will happen. So the more we do careful user research, the more we bring in the feedback loops, the more we bring in regular feedback and mechanisms and improving the conversational journey of the chatbots or the assistants or the solutions, the more beneficial it will be. So definitely very much in agreement with Mr. Hamza regarding the keeping the user at the center of the solution. And
Sure.
yeah, with that, definitely we can have like multiple solutions in terms of assistance. And also, again, I like to also point out that this technology should be seen as an assistive technology, not a technology which will take over. So we should progress in that direction, and that's why the regulations are also very important to come into place, so that these regulations can be uh, directed towards using AI ethically for the right kind of benefit of the society and for a sustainable future with this technology.
Sure, sure. That's totally true. And I had some experience like recently, like what while using the AI, I was like doing some research and doing some work on it, and it provided me some biased information. So this is where the human need to intervene, and they need to be knowledgeable about the output that the AI is providing. So the knowledge, it is mandatory because we need to make the decision about, upon the knowledge that we have and upon our own analysis as well, beside the analysis of AI. So what you mentioned, like we need to have a loop all the time, auditing. It's very important for us, and always the human intervention is a crucial point because we need also to make that the human is above AI to be in control with human as well, and to make it more prioritizing the AI tool to enhance our capabilities and our capacities, and to enhance our thinking, and also it can provide us with useful insight that we can build on it later on. But keeping in mind that we need to train the teachers, train the students or the institution on specific and ethical usage of AI.
Yeah, and particularly like answering these a couple of things about like how, particularly in terms of use cases,
Yeah.
can be assistive for teachers and admission teams. So, like we at Gravitas AI have done projects wherein we have train chatbots for training a particular cohort of people, and then the evaluations have happened through multiple choice questions so that we can understand which areas they are getting better at, and that information is being passed to the team who is supervising that, so that the effort which is spent on training, overall training and education, is reduced. Not replacing the actual teachers, definitely never, but assisting them with the BAU tasks so that it can be more useful in terms of like providing the information 24/7, consistent, accurate sort of information. Also for admission teams, we are doing like a couple of use cases wherein we are doing omni-channel assistance. For admissions teams to interact with students, whether it's emails, WhatsApp, web. So having bots everywhere which are connected together, so that these bots can be leveraged further to collect all the information, process information related to the automated dashboards, collect the leads, do the counseling, do the basic counseling, then also do like registrations, take payments, etc. So that is the area. The BAU activities which can be handled by bots can be transferred to these bots, so that the teams can focus on like the higher productivity areas.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Hamza and Aarsh, for your insightful responses and summarizing what you both have said and adding some points. AI can significantly assist teachers, as you both mentioned, and not only teachers but also admission teams by automating routine administrative tasks such as grading and managing student records. And thus, it allows educators to focus more on teaching and student interaction, as mentioned by Ursh. So, AI driven tools can also personalize learning experiences by analyzing student data to provide tailored instruction, and thus it enhances teaching methods. And coming to admission teams, AI can streamline the admission process, improve candidate evaluation through predictive analytics, and enhance communication with prospective students. So, now coming on to our next question. How can AI help bridge the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical skills in education?
Okay. In what ways we can assist teachers and administration team to manage their workload and enhancing their teaching method? Okay. To first of all, for the practical skills in education, we need to understand the following that students need to work with. For example, the practical skills that the students need is like problem solving, critical thinking, digital literacy, practical application, and some communication skills, as well some technical skills. In order to achieve and to bridge the gap between the theoretical knowledge and the practical skills, we need to have some activities related to I inside the classroom or with the teacher directly. But we need to take into consideration that these tools are inclusive for all and it's accessible with all students. For example, let's say that we have like a virtual lab using VR. Okay, and it's a power simulation provided for students, and there are some hands-ons. So students they can communicate with each other. They can experience what's going on in this virtual lab. It could be chemistry, it could be biology, it could be mathematics, it could be any subject, and even social studies. So the students can experience the experiment by itself through the VR, and they can start questioning, they can start raising some concerns, or they can criticize and build up on some ideas. Then they can share it together as a group and by this way they are enhancing their communication skills with each other, and knowing as well some ethical practices done during this activity. Moreover, there is also the inquiry-based learning. The inquiry-based learning is a very important subject where students need to investigate the questions and build some scenario problems, and it will enhance their exploration of data, and also developing um, like new ideas, or build new concepts. For example, an international examination, for example, like PISA, for example, let's say, they work on scientific frameworks, which is provide more critical thinking, more investigation, literacy on science and data, etc. So combining all these together and supported with AI tools that enhances the students' abilities and workflow and critical thinking, and how do they think about the project or about the problem, and how to solve it, and how to relate it to real life situation, to overpass some obstacles or some problems in their life. So it's very important to use such tools ethically and aligned with the curriculum, or the pedagogy that the teacher is handling with the school. Nevertheless, we need to take into consideration that some curriculum, or not some, major curriculums, and teaching method will be changed when once these tools are integrated with the system. So in general, like all the activities that can bridge the gap between the theoretical knowledge and the practical skills and education will be mostly, uh, we will go back initially to the human-centered approach, and repeat everything again, and to overachieve everything and all the obstacles.
Yep. I
And
totally. Sorry, please go on.
yeah, okay, sorry. So I will go back to one comment, or one point that you mentioned earlier about the grading. The grading system, I believe, from my point of view, that it's still not very valid until today, because it lacks the emotional, and it lacks the social aspect, where that what the teacher can provide for the students, because the machine will not know eventually whether this, for example, this student is sick or not, or he have some or he has some issues, for example, at home, and it conflicted in his assessment. But the teacher, he or she can evaluate those aspects and integrate them and provide them with the grading system. So grading alone from the AI tool, I think it's not ready yet, because it mislead, or it might be biased in some cases. This is what I needed to highlight from the previous one, and and adding to for this question.
Yeah, and definitely. I can add in terms of like how education has taken a paradigm shift in terms of ways of teaching in the last few decades. So initially it was much more theoretical, and when we were kids, but now it's moving towards the experiential learning anyways. And to add to that, there's assistance available. As we talked about, Mr. Hamza talked about VR systems, audio, the speech to text technology. There can be sentiment analysis. They can be use of image recognition techniques. So all these things bring with those aspects of learning, which we want to experience in an experiential lab with more closeness, and you can also try to experience it through different angles, with different it's all about how we reflect back through our sensory organs, and we'll be able to not only visualize, hear, and sense things with AI. That is how it will progress. That is what I think, and that actually will bridge the gap in terms of the experiential learning which is required from where and where we are at the moment, because then it will be like more understanding and more it will be easy to grasp when we are experiencing it with more closeness with artificial intelligence, because the AI will start creating personas, or maybe like environments wherein we can experience the actual thing which you want to see, or link with that information. So yeah, that it is definitely going to help in like bridging the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical skills.
Thank you, Hamza and Aarsh, for your insightful responses on this. And definitely, I can bridge the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical skills in education by, as Hamza also mentioned, that by providing interactive simulations and virtual labs where students can apply their theoretical concepts in real world scenarios. Like in today's date, we have computer labs. So, we can have virtual labs like we used to have computer labs, and this AI powered platforms can also offer personalized feedback and adaptive learning paths, ensuring that students gain hands on experience and develop critical thinking skills alongside their academic learning. So, moving towards our next segment, that is the storytelling session. So, Hamza, can you share your thoughts of how AI support learning and curiosity?
Okay. Uh, it all based on the previous discussions and the previous insights. For example, um, for VR, okay? If we are experiencing a scenario in VR, and the students are going into this scenario and experiencing, sometimes like in real life they cannot go to this activity or to this scenario, or they cannot mimic it in real life, especially if they are using like a classroom in a school. So the objects or like the tools are limited. So virtual lab, for example, using VR, it will help them more to explore, and they will be more curious about how it's going on. For example, there's an AI tool. It's called Luma. They have this 3D modeling tool, so they can experience it through the AR technology, and the student can really investigate and be more curious. Even I was very curious about experimenting this tool, like to see what's going on in this tool. For example, I had an experiment using biology for splitting the chromosome. I'm not into biology a lot, but I had some insight about it, like how the cell will divide, how the chromosomes will divide, and I was handling the tool with my hand and rotating it, and I can see every aspect, and also I can check like a box or like a question mark. If I click on it, it will tells me like the definition or what does this part do. It was very interesting, and it was I was very curious to know more. So, what do you think about the students? If the eldest like are curious, so the students will be very curious about how to use such tools in their learning, and for sure, this it will provide more personalized learning paths, and also can provide more data analytics for the teacher, so the teacher can know more about the student and what are the student interests, and to provide him like a learning path specified for his curiosity, and students will be more curious, more like motivated to study more about that subject. Nevertheless, they will explore, experiment, and do some problem solving as well.
That's rightly said. And like with the technology coming into predicting, clustering, and trying to do different type of mathematical operations, whether it's quantitative or qualitative data. With that, we are able to generate insights which will be useful for future. How we can sustain things, how we can sustain operations, how we can sustain a particular type of business operations, maybe, or maybe it's also about like how we can improve how we are So there can be different type of models which can help us generate more understanding of the data points or the insights or how we are spending our day. Maybe like for students, how they're spending the day, how productive it is. So these kind of algorithms can get you to that level. Coming to a different aspect where you can see, we've all seen ChatGPT and LLM models coming into picture. So it's very easy for these days to ask questions. You get a lot of details. Okay, so you get usually type into Google, you get details about certain things here and there, but there's still like a lot of information which you have to like go through and try to understand. But here you're getting specific tailor-made information customized for the questions or the prompts you are asking. So in that case, we're getting, let's say, for example, if I've given a prompt to ask a question, I get 10 more specific points about that particular topic. And then I'll be more intrigued to understand more about maybe this is something which is more interesting. Let me find out more. So these kind of tools, as they advance, will start generating more personalized content or personalized query resolutions will be there, which will definitely fuel up more learning and curiosity.
Thank you, Harsh and Hamza, for sharing your opinions on this interesting topic. And yes, definitely we can say that AI supports learning and curiosity by providing personalized learning experience that adapt to each student's pace and interest. And these days, we can see that intelligent tutoring systems can identify knowledge gaps and offer targeted resources. And AI-driven educational games are also in talks and interactive content that make learning engaging and fun. So, all this fosters a deeper sense of curiosity and exploration, and through which we can say that AI supports learning and curiosity. So, coming on to our next question, that how to create more personalized and addictive learning experiences, according to you, Hamza?
Okay, for personalized and adaptive learning experience, first, understanding the adaptive learning. We know that each student has his own abilities, his own capacities inside the classroom. And not all the students are like on the same level inside the same classroom. And nowadays, with with the traditional learning system, a teacher wasn't able to like uh, to have equity among all students, especially if the session is like 45 minutes in the classroom or 50 minutes in the classroom. So it's very hard for the teacher to provide for every single student his own learning experience. Otherwise, he need to be out of the class. So like working overtime, which is very hard to find among teachers, like because they have very big load and from creating assessment, from creating lesson plans, etc. So nowadays, with the AI tools provided and under the umbrella of human-centered approach and keeping the human agency and also abiding with the educational integrity inside the classroom. Okay, now it's easier for the teacher to start these learning experiences, these personalized learning experiences for each student, because the teacher he already knows the weaknesses and the strength of the student. So according to this, the teacher can generate his own AI tool upon to his objective, or he can use, or the teacher he or she can use other platforms to provide with adaptive learning experiences for each students, and the assessment will be more into the student object, to the student characteristics, behavior, etc. Um, I have created a demo about this and a small program on it using GPT's store applications. I've created one chatbot that will generate a customized assessment for specific student according to the teacher input. But we need to keep in mind that privacy and data policies are very crucial in this point because you are inputting the students' data and you are inputting some information about the students. So we need to abide with the rules and policies that regulate these privacy policies. So it's very crucial point and it's hard. So we need to make sure that we are abiding with regulations in order to achieve this personalized learning experience for each students.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's very important aspect, and AI literacy in terms of how to manage AI is very important to have more tailor-made, well-defined, well-controlled, regulated, personalized, and adaptive learning experiences. One of the interesting use cases which comes to mind, I'm very like attracted towards that is like delivering the content in the way people want. So basically, like as a teacher, we are humans, and like, we a teacher can provide their experience in a class, and definitely can share with different students. But if you consider a batch of 50 students or 100 students, maybe everyone wants to perceive information very differently, or they like to perceive information very differently. For example, there's people who like to read, the people who like to hear, the people who like to watch videos, and there are people who just like to have some gaming applications through which they can learn. So there are different type of personalities, and so we have to understand the user personas which are there, and
Yes.
those user personas need to get the information where in the format they want. So one very interesting use case can be where the teacher is delivering, and we're able to segment it into different ways of distribution of information, which is going right beyond the personalization with respect to personalization, personalized interest of the students.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Hamza and Aarsh, for sharing your opinions and use cases on how AI can make personalize and create more adaptive learning experiences. So, you already have shared all the examples and use cases, and indeed, we can now say that the use of AI to create more personalized and adaptive learning experience revolutionizes education, and it makes it more inclusive and effective by addressing the unique needs of every learner, and promotes continuous engagement and growth. So now let's move on to our next segment, that is the myth busting round, where we debunk common myths and misconceptions. So according to you, Hamza, does AI reduce the need for human judgment and intuition in teaching?
Okay. For the judgment, it's reduces like does AI reduce the need of for human judgment and the tuition in teaching? Okay, for the human judgment, it's very crucial here in when it comes to using the AI tools. For example, the AI tools can do some routine tasks, as you mentioned before. Also, interpreting some insights and making some decisions. But we need to intervene. So, whenever we are using the AI tool ethically, we can enhance it, and also it can enhance our teaching and educational pathways according to some specific areas. Uh, uh, for example, like here, we are using an AI tool. It is giving us some insights about the students' performance. Okay, it can be on application, understanding, critical synthesis, analysis, etc. There are different levels, and it gave us some insights and sentiments on each one. So our judgment should be there because in order to relate our judgment into teaching and also align it with the previous topic, which is personalized learning experiences, okay, we need to loop everything together. So we need to have the human judgment, we need to have the insights, we need to have our ethics using the AI, the guidance as well, the practices that we are using, also doing some new methodologies that can be enhanced by the AI. So here now we are enhancing. I'm focusing on the word enhance more than revolutionize because it's enhancing our capacities, it's enhancing our abilities, it's enhancing our thinking and the way we teach, and give us more ways and solutions to the same problem. Maybe we can see it in different ways. So according to our judgment, okay, we can improve our outcomes and the AI outcomes. So, so the judgment of human judgment, it said to be reduced or not, according on how the user is using the AI tool.
Yep.
That's
I totally agree with that, and human judgment can't be taken out because ultimately, even if AI is judging and providing some intuitions, it has to assist. It is for assistance of humans. Basically, as we increase the powers of artificial intelligence solutions and how they're operating for a particular use case, so the more we increase the intuitiveness and the judgment capacity of those algorithms, the better it will be to assist humans, informed decision making for the humans. But ultimately, the decision has to be from the humans. So, in your question, does it reduce the need for human judgment? No. But does it assist more human judgment? Definitely, yes.
Thank you, Hamza and Aarsh, for addressing such a common myth that we hear these days. And yes, we can definitely say that AI does not reduce the need for human judgment and intuition in teaching. So, according to me, also, and if we see, it rather complements and enhances these essential qualities. And while AI can handle administrative tasks and provide data driven insights, on the other hand, human teachers bring empathy, creativity, and ability that AI cannot bring to understand the nuanced needs of students, which definitely AI cannot replicate. So, in my opinion, also, AI should be viewed as a valuable tool that supports and augments the role of teachers. So, coming on to the next myth, that does AI hinder the development of social and emotional skills in students?
okay. For the social and emotional skills in the students, there are um, there are some points. Like, for example, the social awareness, the responsible decision making, also the ethical educational part. So we need to understand like there are aspects and the emotional skills in the student and so their social aspects. For example, we can overcome them and to not to make it like very difficult for them to develop such skills through what through the balance of AI with the human interaction. So whenever we have more balance between the human and AI interaction, the easier the student can develop social and emotional skills through all the scenarios that he or she is going through using the AI. So it can enhance the social awareness through some applications like VR, for example. Also, some responsible decision making, like according to the conflict-based method using an AI. Also, some building some scenario learning experiments. All of these can develop social and emotional skills in the student. But also, we need to keep in mind to have a balance between the human and AI interaction, and going back to the first point, which is the human-centered approach. Whenever we are abiding with all these ethical usage and the approaches that we mentioned before, it can be easier for the student to develop these social and emotional skills.
I totally agree with that because balance is something which is very much required in this, and it's like the two different sides of the same coin, wherein we are increasing the awareness and increasing the skill sets on a very different note by interacting to different new methods, new ways of interactions, communications, etc. So that's again it's a development skill. So we are, as you said, evolving. At the same time, it's very important to have that human touch and maintain the balance in that regard as well. So we have to be bi-directional in this and keep progressing in both directions where we maintain a healthy balance between not getting overlean towards a particular area.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's correct.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Hamza and Nursh, for addressing this myth also. And when used properly, AI does not necessarily hinder the development of social and emotional skills in students. And rather, AI can support these skills by providing personalized learning environment, that encourage collaboration through virtual group projects and social interactions, as you both have already mentioned. And additionally, AI can help identify students who may need extra support in developing these skills and recommend targeted interventions to those students. So that's it for the day. And thank you, Hamza and Aarsh, for joining us today in this enlightening panel discussion on AI integration in education. And your insights into how AI can assist teachers, personalize learning, and support social and emotional development have been incredibly valuable. We appreciate your expertise and thoughtful contribution to this important topic. Thank you once again for being with us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Aarsh. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hamza. Thank you, Roshali.
Thank you. To all our attendees, let's continue this conversation beyond today's session. Stay tuned for more engaging live discussion coming your way soon. Thank you.
Thank you.